Wow. Good morning, everyone. One of the challenges about being a speaker is how do you stand in front of an audience like you and deliver something that's equally as powerful as what you've heard today. One of the things that I'm really fortunate about being able to do is I get to stand on the shoulders of giants. And the giants that you've heard from this morning, I genuinely want you to take away the stuff that they've said, the way they make you feel, the thoughts that they might have sparked in your mind. Take them back and reflect on them and use them with your team. And the same advice goes for every speaker, every masterclass, every workshop that's being put on over the next few days. Take your time to soak it up. These are rare days that we get out of our businesses to reflect and to soak up and to think about different ways that we can work. And to use language that reflects back on what Mark just said, to think about different ways that we can shape the future. And what I want to talk to you about today is some of the work that I do with CEOs and boards around the world, fundamentally designed to help those organizations shape the future. And as Ben just said, I want to do that through the lens of people and culture and genuinely being human-centric and human-centered. And yes, AI is important, and yes, it might very well change the world and be one of the technologies that really advances us further than anything else has done in the past. But what we must never forget is that at the center of all of that is people. And at the center of our organizations is people. And right at the center of what we should be doing in our organizations is doing stuff for people. So technology like AI should be used as an enabler. It's not about technology instead of humans, it's about technology and humans. I'm really fortunate, and I can't take all the credit. I had two amazing co-authors that helped me write this book. And it's stuff that I'm going to share with you from this book today. So there's some of the frameworks and the tools and the things that we talk about in the book that I think are directly relatable to you as brand owners and marketeers and as leaders that will help you try and build the right kind of culture in your organization. I think my good friend, Dr. Hussein Goulet, should be in the areas. So Hussein is a good friend of mine. He was absolutely instrumental. It makes me really proud standing here in Istanbul to say that a few years ago, Hussein was instrumental in helping us get the Turkish translation of the book done. And I was really fortunate enough to speak at Turkey Innovation Week a few years ago where we launched it. So it's stuff from the book that I want to share with you today, and some other thoughts that I have on the wider subject about what it means to be human, what it means to build organizations that put people at the center. Why I want to do that is I think, and I don't just think, I have a concern that technology like AI, if we don't use it correctly, it will strip away, slowly and subtly and maybe subconsciously, it will strip away what it means to be human. And it will strip away what it means for organizations to be truly human, truly people-centric. And what I want to try and do is combat that today and give you some tools and some thoughts that might just help you put the human back into your organizations. As you've heard from the title of my book, Building a Culture of Innovation. So my life and the work that I do is built around helping organizations around the world drive innovation. And more importantly, build the right kind of culture for innovation. Now, this is a really poor statistic, but if I'm being selfish, I don't want the statistic to change, because this statistic says 84% of senior leaders and CEOs and executives say that innovation is critical and it's crucial to the success of their organizations. Many of them placing innovation in the top 3 things that their organization needs to do, and some of them even putting it as the number 1 capability that they need to build. And then this little number on the right here is the number of those same CEOs and executives who are happy with their ability to drive innovation. Now, if innovation's really critical, why haven't we bridged that gap? What I want to share with you today are some tools and some tips and some frameworks and some thoughts that help you as leaders and marketeers and brand owners close that gap. Help you put innovation right at the heart of what your organization does. Innovation fails predominantly because we see it as an activity. Marketeers, in some respects, are slightly guilty in devaluing the word innovation. Organizations around the world have used the word innovation without context and without substance for over a decade now. We've had innovation put onto the straplines of organizations. We put innovation in our strategy documents. We talk about innovation on our websites. But how many of us have genuinely done something really innovative as an organization? And how many of us have done that repeatedly? What I want you to start thinking about is innovation is an effect. It's not a word that we can use. Innovate. The stuff that we do isn't innovative just because we put the word innovative or innovation as part of the packaging or the marketing material or the advertising. Something's innovative when it shifts the needle. Something's innovative when our customers like what we do so much that they say, wow. That they say, what this company's just done is so amazing, it's so different, it's better than what was there before, it's way better than the competitors' products. It's absolutely incredible. When customers react to the things that we do, they tell us whether things are different enough. They tell us whether things are innovative enough. That's what we should be striving for in our organizations. It's too easy for us to self-profess what we do is innovative. I'm going to play a little video now. If any of you have seen Wankonomics, I'm going to play a little video, and the same applies to innovation. So let's have a little bit of fun. Hopefully the volume's loud enough. I'll play this and then we'll move on.
All you need to do for your purpose statement is write down these exact words. Our customers are at the heart of everything we do. Okay, that's it. Our customers are at the heart of everything we do. I mean, after all, that's what British Airways does.
Yep. And Barclays also is there.
And HSBC uses that exact same phrase as well. So.
Yeah. And Royal Bank of Scotland actually does too.
So there you go. Our customers are at the heart of everything we do. Actually, O2 uses that exact same phrase as
actually,
well.
Qantas does as well.
Yeah, Flight Centre does as well.
Yeah. And also Scottish Power uses that exact phrase as well.
And Goodyear Tyres weirdly uses that phrase.
And Uber Eats does as well.
British American Tobacco.
Lockheed Martin.
Even Wankonomics Consulting Solutions. So,
tongue in cheek, right? The reality is true for innovation. The amount of organizations I see that self-profess how innovative they are, and yet their products and their services and their experiences are exactly the same as the next competitor. So what I want you guys to really embrace is how do we genuinely build innovation capability in our organization? How do we shift? And how do we use marketing and customer connection and all of the things that you've heard about this morning to really reinforce the relationship that you guys have with your customers in order to genuinely be able to solve problems with them, not for them, and genuinely be able to innovate with them, not for them. And there's a couple of things. There's a couple of reasons why that's important. We've got to invite customers to be partners, not recipients of what we do. That's going to make it way easier for you to get people to buy. You're not then having to try and convince them that they need the product that you've created. They will have co-created that solution with you. They become partners, not recipients. H2H marketing, human to human, building that connection means building relationships for co-creation. Remember what JP said earlier? He talked about the conversation that you have with them and dialogue that you need to have with customers. Genuine collaboration. Innovating with customers, not for them. And we've heard a lot this morning about the power of empathy. And empathy is one of the core components that we need to build more of in our organizations. Think about the whole subject that Mark just presented to you. Imagine a world with way more empathy in it. It's the opposite of conflict, right? So, human to human wins, and with rather than for wins. When we co-create, when we build customer-centered organizations, when we co-create, our organizations become what I call learning machines. What do we need from as organizations when we want to completely change what we do and how we do it and why we do it and build better things for people? We need intelligence, we need data, we need insight. We need to understand the problems and the pains and the challenges that customers face so that we can build and create solutions for them. But building amazing companies like that is deeply emotional. I'm going to share with you what I call the 3 emotions of business in a minute. It's deeply emotional. There's an emotional connection that you have to build with your people, and that's culture. And there's an emotional connection that you have to build with your customers. And innovation, I think, is the engine that ignites that kind of emotion, that ignites the kind of emotion that helps us build genuinely different solutions. If you're going to read a book about culture and about building a phenomenal organizational culture, read Everybody Matters by Bob Chapman. Caring is contagious. When people feel cared for, it inspires them to care for others. When the people in your organization genuinely believe, and not just believe, they know that you as an organization absolutely care for them, that you as a leader, as the CEO, the executive team, absolutely care for every employee in that business, they will start to care for others, and the others are your customers. What was the name of the company this morning? The Gettle. That is exactly what the guys did at Gettle. Care for our people, build an amazing culture, and they will care for our customers. Now, put that in the context of innovation. If we care for our people and we build brilliant cultures, and they can connect to our customers, imagine how genuinely innovative your organizations could become. 3 emotions of business. The first one is love, something we don't talk about in business enough, something senior executives don't talk about in business enough, and certainly something 50-odd-year-old male executives don't talk about enough. Love. If our people, like Gettle, don't absolutely love what we do and why we do it, why the hell are they going to care about our customers? Figure out how to build an organizational culture where everyone loves coming to work, where everyone loves what you do and why you do it. Because the next thing that you'll get is this. The next thing you'll get is desire. You'll start to be able to build solutions and products and experiences that your customers don't just want or need, that they desire. This is what JP alluded to earlier. When Apple launches their next product, people desire them so much they're willing to camp out in tents on the street in front of the Apple store to be the first to buy that new product. That's desire. That's what we want to build in our customers, because the more our customers desire our products, the less likely it is that they're buying a competitor's. And that brings me to the third emotion of business. We never want to say or do anything bad to our competitors, but what we do want is an emotional reaction, because then we know we're winning. This isn't about our competitors saying, I just don't understand why these guys are selling more products than us. This is about your competitors saying, how the hell are these guys doing that? We have the same product, it's the same price point, it's on the same shelves in the supermarket, but every customer buys theirs, not ours. How the hell are they doing that? Well, they're doing that because they've built an organization where people love turning up to work and love solving customer problems, and that means they're building solutions and products that people really, really, really want. That's where innovation comes into the mix. Love, desire, and envy is delivered by innovation. By you understanding customers so well and so deeply that you understand their problems better than the competitor. Because the road to competitive advantage starts with you knowing your customer better than them, and you knowing the problems and the issues that they have better than them and deeper than them, and then having the capability to innovate, the capability to build solutions faster and better than your competitors. But it requires a few ingredients. It requires empathy. It requires authenticity. It requires trust. It requires you as an organization to be really curious. It requires discovery. So you've got to get out there and test things and experiment and try new things with customers, not for them. And it requires co-creation. Only when you build the right kind of organizational culture and you put innovation genuinely at the heart of that, will you be able to tap into all of those ingredients, and only then will you start to build the capability to be genuinely innovative. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. There's several attributions that you find on the internet. Some say it's Drucker, some say it was Gabor, some say it was Alan Kay. Either way, we've all heard that phrase. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. And the best way to invent the future is creatively. The best way to invent the future is through innovation, is through building the capability to be genuinely innovative. And one of the frameworks in the book is this. It's what we call the innovation system, a high-performing innovation system. And there's 5 things in there: strategy, processes, management, leadership, and culture. For anyone that's interested, I'm happy to send you more information. Just reach out and I'll give you a really in-depth overview of what all of those different things look and feel like and what you've got to do. But without building clear strategy, clear process, really engaged management who can bring innovation alive on a day-to-day basis, great leadership who own the innovation agenda, who genuinely build belief and love into the organization like Gettle. And then a culture that loves what it's doing, that genuinely wants to solve things for customers, that genuinely wants to do things differently and shape the future. Unless all of those things are built in harmony, it's really difficult to drive innovation out of that. So, a couple of things, some tips for you to overcome those challenges. Transformation's about mindset and behavior. It's not about transformation as a project. The middle management layer of your organization, for all the leaders out there, the middle management layer of your organization, they are your culture enablers. It's your job as leaders to figure out how you enable the middle management layer of your organization to bring innovation alive on a day-to-day basis. So figure out as leaders what you've got to own to allow your managers to drive innovation on a day-to-day basis that then allows all of the rest of your employees to contribute to innovation on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to skip this one because There's loads of examples of brilliant organizations doing brilliant things around marketing and voice and aligning with customers. Loads of examples of that today. So my challenge to you is embrace the emotional side of business. Shift to with, not for. Design your organization's innovation system. Build a truly innovation-led culture. Stop talking about having to react to the future and start to shape it. And what's the risk? Well, as Erin Hansen, the artist, said, what if I fail? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Thank you very much.